The season opens with a meeting between the shogun and members of the Yamada Asa-Emon clan, where Jika reappears after managing to return from the realm of the immortals, something considered virtually impossible due to the currents that trapped anyone who tried to escape. Although he avoids explaining how he got out, his testimony confirms that Chobe murdered one of the Asa-Emon and that the situation on the island is far more serious than expected. With no reports from Aizen, the shogunate decides to send a new expedition, with Shugen, deeply concerned about his comrade. As proof of the danger, Jika presents a creature brought back from the island, confirmed to be dead yet bearing strange characteristics, reintroducing the concept of Tao. From there, the Tensen take center stage and delve deeper into its origins, explaining that Tao is equivalent to life itself and that abusing it ultimately leads to self-destruction. It is revealed they train this power in a systematic and extreme way, even fusing with or killing others to obtain greater amounts of Tao. Meanwhile, Sagiri, Shion, Yuzuriha, and Mei debate whether to withdraw, fully aware that the shogunate will not accept a return without results. Tension rises when Gabimaru is shown suffering from severe memory loss. He no longer remembers his wife or his purpose, and Mei detects an unsettling void in his mind, possibly caused by an illusory technique. The episode reaches its most intense moment with the reunion between Gabimaru and Chubi, who has already begun transforming into a monster dominated by an overwhelming Tao. The fight is brutal and bloody, marked by Chubi's inhuman regeneration and Gabimaru's emotional emptiness as he fights without memories or attachment. At the same time, Toma faces Shion, displaying overwhelming strength while evolving mid-battle. Finally, Gabimaru resorts to his fire monk technique, enveloping himself in flames to confront Chubi, who undergoes an even further transformation, losing all traces of his human appearance. The episode ends by making it clear that Chubi has crossed an irreversible line, and that Tao, far from being merely a source of power, is also a path to destruction. Gabimaru continues the fight against Chobi using Burning Bridge, but the attack has no effect. Chobi, now transformed and dominated by an overflowing Tao, counterattacks ferociously with his tentacles, gradually overwhelming Gabimaru's resistance. Cornered, Gabimaru resorts to the ascetic blaze technique to create some distance. During a brief respite, Chobi's mental state is shown as he begins to realize that he is losing his identity and sanity. Despite this, Chobi resumes his assault. Tenza questions why Gabimaru is not using his Tao, and Mei explains that he has forgotten how, while his opponent is overflowing with power. Gabimaru acknowledges that he has almost no chance of winning, and that he has even lost the sense of his mission, yet he is still willing to die fighting. The memory of his wife awakens one final offensive impulse, leading Fuchi to point out that both fighters have lost their reason. Unable to endure the situation, Toma intervenes to help his brother, admitting that he does not want Chobi to bear the suffering alone. Confused, Chobi unintentionally wounds Toma. Taking advantage of the chaos, Gabimaru attempts to finish off both brothers, but Mei causes the ground to collapse. Chobi shields Toma with his own body and falls into the abyss, promising that he will return. After the battle, Mei suddenly shows signs of physical growth, astonishing everyone. The story then shifts to Sagiri's group, who plan to find Gabimaru to increase their chances of survival. Although Yuzuriha wishes to leave the island, they follow the clues and reunite with the other group. It is confirmed that only 8 survivors remain and that the monsters of the valley floor have been eliminated. Gabimaru, severely injured and with his Tao completely depleted, awakens without his memories and attacks Sagiri, declaring himself to be Gabimaru, the Hollow. She explains that his soul is damaged and manages to restrain him. Through physical contact with Sagiri, his Tao begins to recover, allowing him to regain consciousness. When he remembers his wife, Yui, and his desire to return to her, his power strengthens. Meanwhile, Chobei awakens after the fall, satisfied with his new power and determined to master it, even using monsters as nourishment. The story closes with the looming threat of new enemies and the certainty that the Lord Tenzin will not stop hunting them. Despite having found a relatively safe refuge, Mei's condition continues to worsen. Kofuchi claims to possess a medicine that could help her, but in exchange, he demands information about the Tenzin, reinforcing the suspicion that Mei shares their same genetics and abilities. While part of the group investigates this mystery, the rest focus on training Gabimaru, who, although he has recovered his memories, still does not fully master Tao. During the training, he realizes that he cannot match the Tenzin in Tao control, but he can take advantage of the Tao they emit to strike their vital points, thus discovering an effective way to injure them. During this temporary truce, Toma sets his pride aside and asks Tamaya to train him in swordsmanship so he can rescue his brother. As a sign of sincerity, he cuts his hair, and although Tamaya hesitates at first, she ultimately accepts. At the same time, Chobei confronts Rien, who reveals that the criminal's body has adapted to Tao, turning him into a hybrid between human and Tenzin. Although Chobei manages to defeat him by exploiting his weak point, he soon discovers that Rien can multiply, which ultimately leads to his capture. Rien shows interest in experimenting on Chobei to circulate Tao within him. Chobei agrees to submit, but demands to learn the truth about the island and Tao. It is then revealed that the island was created by Shufuku, a sorcerer who sought immortality through Tao, creating monsters in the process and giving rise to the Tenzin. Although the Tenzin are not truly immortal, they can prolong their lives thanks to an elixir called Tan, a regenerative prototype. Shufuku's true plan goes far beyond this, to turn the entire population of Japan into Tan. Meanwhile, Mei confesses that she and Rien were the first beings created by Shufuku. When she opposed Rien's methods, she was punished with the destruction of the organ that allowed her to circulate Tao, causing her body to gradually petrify whenever she uses too much energy. Realizing that Mei needs Tao to survive, Joko decides to sacrifice himself and transfer all of his energy to her. Before doing so, Mei bids him farewell by calling him Father, sealing an emotional goodbye filled with gratitude and sorrow. While the main group continues to lose members on the island, the story returns to the shogunate, where the second expedition team bound for Kototaku Island is being prepared. Among them stands out Shugen, accompanied by elite swordsmen and ninjas from Iwagakure. Tension arises when Kiyomaru, driven by his arrogance, openly threatens the ninjas. They prove their absolute loyalty to the shogunate when their leader takes his own life without hesitation, dispelling any doubts. Although it is later revealed that their true objective is to assassinate Gabimaru on direct orders from their clan. After a long journey, the new group arrives on the island and quickly faces monsters, confirming the constant danger of the place. At the same time, the protagonists deduce that reinforcements must already be on the way, which gives Sagiri hope, as she places complete trust in Shugen. His reputation is no exaggeration. Although he does not formally master Tao, he is able to perceive it and use it instinctively, allowing him to fight even without weapons. Nevertheless, Shugen also bears a blood-stained past. He's admired for his talent and leadership, yet feared for the cruel acts he committed in order to fulfill the shogunate's orders. Even so, Sagiri feels deep admiration for him, as he was her first love and the one who intervened so that she could obtain her license as a swordswoman. Despite this, Shion considers any alliance impossible, since Shugen shows no compassion toward criminals or executioners allied with them. The situation grows more serious when Shugen finds the body of his master, Ayan. Devastated, he decides to give him a proper burial even while monsters attack. As he prays, swordsmen and ninjas fight together with great efficiency. Consumed by grief and hatred, Shugen dulls his blade so that his future cuts will inflict greater pain, determined to take revenge and continue moving forward. Returning to the protagonists, the group concludes that mastering Tao is essential to face the Lord Tenzin. With no clear way off the island, they decide to advance together toward its depths in search of the elixir of life, fully aware that only by staying united will they have any real chance of surviving. With their minds finally clear, the group of swordsmen begins planning a strategy to ensure their survival and obtain the elixir of life, which is located in the Tenzin Palace. Their top priority is to infiltrate the area, avoid unnecessary battles, and escape by sea, trusting in the possible existence of a hidden life current that could allow them to leave the island despite the dangers lurking in the ocean. To achieve this, Gabimaru and Yuzuriha share their ninja techniques. Yuzuriha teaches how to dilute Tao in order to become undetectable to the Tenzin's senses, though the technique fails if the user loses their composure. Gabimaru, meanwhile, instructs the group on how to use an enemy's Tao to counterattack, subjecting them to extremely harsh training, meant to free the flow of energy throughout the body. While not everyone adapts successfully, some stand out, such as Toma, and the group gradually strengthens their trust in one another. Shion then divides the members according to the elements they wield to avoid elemental disadvantages in combat. Thanks to the information provided by Mei about the Tenzin, they establish that facing an elementally superior enemy leaves only one option: to flee. With this decision made, the group splits up, with some tasked with searching for the elixir, while others focus on securing an escape route. Mei chooses not to leave the island right away, as she wishes to speak with Rian and her master to understand why they became evil. Her words deeply affect Gabimaru, reminding him of his wife and leading him to help Mei fulfill her wish. Meanwhile, the Tenzin accept Chobei into their sect. He pretends to cooperate in order to uncover their weaknesses, and after a ritual, notices a significant increase in his abilities. In Rian's laboratory, the existence of a gigantic flower capable of stealing Tao from humans is revealed, hinting at a much larger, still unknown plan as experiments begin on Chobei's body. That same night, the group infiltrates the palace, taking advantage of the Tenzin's reduced power without solar energy, and the fact that they are usually separated. Although combat is forbidden as part of the mission, they manage to advance by using Tao as a means to see in the darkness. However, Gabimaru is intercepted by Rian, who is also capable of concealing his Tao, revealing that the infiltration had already been anticipated. After Chobei unintentionally betrays them, the group is split apart and forced to face different Tenzin, marking the failure of the plan and leaving them no choice but to fight for their lives.